What up, New Gaming Order? We back like Juggernaut bitches, and this is our final segment of the night. I don't know if we're doing PSAs. We're probably just gonna call it a night, but
we'll leave PSAs for later because these guys are going to Comic-Con, so that will be a bunch of PSAs happening. So we'll leave that for later.
Now, my original intent was to cover a very heated debate that Nelson and I had offline, but I'm going to try and get the essence of it here. But the holiday season is rapidly approaching, and now Sony has announced that they are doing their price cut, which they said they weren't going to do. They were firmly established as the lead console worldwide in sales. The ratio is still 7-to-1 sales versus its prime competitor. Nintendo's not trying to be that competitor. They're just there. They're like Will Smith. I'm just happy to be here. So with that,
Will Smith is going in the money, son. He's not happy to be there. He's taking the fuck over, son.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. But this is a mix of a lot of articles. I'm gonna once I put this on the YouTube, I will make sure I get everything where I cited it from. So with that, Sony is now trying to go for the jugular, and they did this. They did their price cut right before Halo 5 Guardians dropped, right? So that's like one kick to the left testicle, and then with that, you know, it's also mixing in where, you know, Yoshida was saying that okay, Sony, their first party exclusives kind of is dormant. You know, it's not really, you know, there because they have such strong third-party support. And with that, it's just something to the effect where, you know, I'm trying to understand just the mindset of the consumer, where, you know, what is the draw? We know Microsoft stumbled out of the gates with the DRM and everything. Phil Spencer pulled a miracle with turning the ship around and going in the right direction. Smartest thing, that Matrick got fired. That fucking guy almost ruined the brand, so to speak. But with that being said, it's just it's interesting for me to see where Microsoft now, okay, if you look at their first party lineup, their first party exclusives, they have more of them going into the holiday season, right? At the time, they had a console that was $50 cheaper than the PlayStation 4. And now that they don't have that advantage, and it's, to me, I'm trying to word it in such a way where I'm not taking a stab at Sony folks, but it's almost like it's a Sony on the brain mindset where, you know, you got these people like, hey, there's a good product on the other side of the house, but it's like completely out. They're now reminded. They're just like, Sony, that's it. And with that, it's just, what is the draw? What's the mindset of the Sony consumer where it's like, okay, hey, I don't even want to hear about Nintendo. I don't want to hear about Microsoft. They got all the third-party support. Yoshida is admitting that they don't have first-party exclusives. How do they get away with that? How is it that... I don't know, maybe Sony, like right now, is what Nintendo was back in the day. Nintendo, okay, I'm going to buy it. Now, I had made a, you know, when Nelson and I were going back and forth on this, I was at Toys R Us looking for something for my cosplay, if I cosplay at Comic-Con this year, and there was a 6-year-old kid, and I'm not going to say his name was Billy, that'll be messed up, but a little kid.
What?
You know the prevailing
Wanna be a Toys R Us kid.
But there was a kid asking his mom for a PlayStation 4, and she asked him, why do you want it? I don't know, because there's a PlayStation 4. Knew nothing about the system. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm like, you know what? That sheep mindset is making me wonder, is it just the name Sony? Is like, okay, hey, it's automatically, hey, I gotta buy it? Or what is it? What is that magic that they captured, or the lightning in the bottle that they captured, where they're getting the third-party support? The sales are just out there, you know what I mean? And if you really compare the two systems, it's like they both have their strengths and weaknesses, but Sony PS4 is basic to me still, you know. But I just want to know what you guys think. Like, what is it that Sony has
Now you know the Bayhive is coming for you for that, Alex.
Hey, yo, Alex.
Hey,
hold on.
It is what it is.
Let me go first on this so that I don't have to go last.
Putting my quarter up on the counter for next.
Tag, yo.
Yeah,
right.
it's just a thought, you know. I mean,
now let me see. I doubt I can word for word remember exactly what me and Alex spoke about and exactly
it was
how
heated.
It was a very intense debate. But I'll say this: Sony is smart enough to sit there and act like how in the past when the Microsoft launched the 360 was the console. Why? Because it had exclusive content that only the console will ever be able to obtain. It brought out most of the genres that people would like to play within the West and some part of the East, which did, you know, here and there like the 360. But as getting into it, Sony has bought the majority of the fighters, the majority of the shooters, majority of the sports games now, and they're making them exclusive only for Sony, promoting it out there. And, alright, I'll use this as an example. I'm watching wrestling right now, and what did they show as an advertisement for a game? WWE 2K16 for what? The PlayStation 4. Sony put in the money. Here you go, guys. Please sponsor this onto the show and make sure that Sony gets his name out. That's what they're doing with all these other, you know, media out there. Newspapers, trailers, Facebook ads. Everything is a lot more of Sony than it is to Microsoft because Microsoft doesn't have as, I guess, much money or resources to do the exact same.
They do. You know they do.
But the reason why I say this is because they bought most of the stuff that no one can even compete with anymore. Like what right now, Xbox is scratching their claws to get a good fighter on their console that is unique and to them only. The only thing that they got to them on their belt is Killer Instinct. Everything else is a third-party fighter, like Mortal Kombat X, for example.
Guilty Gear.
And no, well, not Guilty Gear, but Blaze.
No,
Blue.
like the exclusive stuff, like
right for
Guilty Gear,
Sony.
Street Fighter 5.
Right,
yeah.
right. That's for the Sony house. But I'm saying for the Xbox One, they only got Blaze Blue, which is third party, Killer Instinct, which is first party in house,
Dead or
and they
Alive.
got Dead or Alive and MKX. That's all as far as I know, and probably Dive Kick. As far as I know, Sony has not only Blaze Blue, not only Guilty Gear, not only Street Fighter 5. Not only some of the Japanese games that only will stay in Japan, they have like literally 90% of the fighting game like genre locked. It's gone.
Now with Nelson, with that, is that because that the companies see that okay, we have an install base that's bigger on the PlayStation 4, right? And it's potentially more money there, but let's say for every like, hey, we have 10 copies of a game. We're not making any for Xbox, but 10 copies of a game, right? And on the PS4, only 2 of them sell, right? Why not make it for the other console? You lost money producing it over here. You know, you get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying, but like, as I also mentioned to you before, as a gamer, I have every console as far as I can tell, except for probably for the Wii U due to certain reasons. But
yeah,
I have every console because I don't want to miss out if they come up with a particular game for whatever console. And I won't just say, oh, I'm going to get it for every one. No, I'm going to choose the best console that it performs under. If
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
PC, I will get it for the PC. If it performs better on the PS4, I'll get it for the PS4. But the way how the consumers work in this new generation now, it's word to fucking mouth. If someone says on Facebook, and it's very noticeable in number increments, that PlayStation is doing well, that's what people will talk about.
Just like the little Billy from Toys R Us.
Just like little Billy from Toys R Us, even though you say you wasn't going to mention Billy, but okay.
I didn't know his name. He looked like a Billy.
But you see the numbers and it makes people want to go. And you did mention this in the offline conversation, Alex. People just follow what's on the cover, on the stats. 1080p? Oh, Xbox does what? 900 or 720p native? Oh, fuck that. I'm gonna get Sony shit. Oh, it has
and then chances are they probably can't even see the difference.
The difference because of the TV. Correct.
Yeah.
That's for the hardcore consumers. But for the casual dude, they're gonna look at the price. That's what Noop brought up one time. Xbox One when it first came out, nearly $600 fucking dollars. PlayStation 4 when it came out, $400. Which one am I gonna buy? The $200 cheaper console? Sure, give me that. That's what people see now in this era.
And why I see a PS4 commercial on right now.
See, there you go, there you go. And then on top of that, I can even put this in a sense of what Dave would say. You have a company like Sony that does not only just gaming, but they I'm watching right now a movie commercial. They're making ads upon ads as time goes on, bro.
Yeah, because they own like movie studios, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right. Like they can throw their product.
Right. So right now, as what we can say, for now, Sony has a lot of advertisement going on, but Microsoft is not that far behind with advertisement for its Windows 10, for its Xbox gaming commercials, and also for
the NFL. They're tied in with them,
right, with the NFL.
And the games. Yeah.
And if you guys been keeping up with tech recently, they're making a brand new laptop that's gonna blow the Apple MacBook out of the water.
Who's making this?
Microsoft.
Isn't that like based off of the Surface?
It's basically the Surface 2.0, but like way better.
Yeah, I heard about it.
The Surface Pro 4 that they just released. The Surface Pro 4. That's what you're talking about.
I think it's the.
They're making a laptop too. They're releasing a Surface Pro 4. That's a tablet thing, but they're making an actual laptop too, an actual Windows laptop too.
Yeah. So you basically could detach it or reattach it from like the weird looking joint spinal that they was talking about. But
yeah, it's like a 14-inch or something.
Right, but the specs under the hood of this laptop outbeats most souped up gaming rigs out there right now, and that's impressive for a small device. It will run you about $1,600 to be exact, but it has a lot of stuff for just like, let's say if Alex wanted to stream on the go and he bought that laptop, he would be set for the next 5 years.
That's what's up. Okay,
but that will be ending of my point, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's like, what's Sony's magic, or what is their draw for? What's pulling them all this success? But there was just so many different avenues that I covered, and Nelson hit on a few. But Demizo, did you want to go next, or Playboy?
I'll do it, but I'll put the quarter in the machine and go.
All right, press start.
But here it is. The statement that you said about Yoshida and the first-party exclusives not being there is kind of factually incorrect. It may not be where he wants them to be, but let's be real. Sony PlayStation 4 has just as many AAA exclusive first-party titles as the Xbox One.
What are they? Outside of the Order and Uncharted?
I'm gonna run them down right now.
Okay.
You got Nat. And I'm judging first-party exclusives, AAA title by the amount of money spent on them and the amount of advertising put behind it. Fair enough.
Wait. Okay. Now, what I should have done was pull a chart as to what's the criteria that makes a game a AAA. It could be a AA title. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but here's the list that I came up with just off the top of my head, because we were discussing this a little bit before the show got started.
Okay.
Here are a list of Sony's AAA first-party exclusives, including remakes that have been released up until today.
I don't think remakes should count.
They do, man, because if you can count Gears of War Ultimate Edition, remakes should count.
I don't count that. I don't. It's a remake. It's a dated title. Like I don't give that credit to Microsoft at all.
All right, here's what I have for Sony PlayStation 4. You've got Knack, Killzone, Infamous, Drive Club, The Order, MLB The Show, Little Big Planet 3, Bloodborne, Until Dawn, God of War, Last of Us.
You're talking current gen?
Yes, this is PlayStation 4. The Last of Us. What else is there? And Nathan Drake. And what the hell is the name of that horror?
Uncharted.
Title? The horror title that just came out.
What, Last of Us?
No. Until Dawn. That's it. I said Until Dawn. So that's 13 exclusive first-party AAA titles, and then we'll run down the Xbox One AAA titles that have been released up until right now. Rise Son of Rome, Dead Rising 3, Killer Instinct, Forza 5, Forza Horizon 2, Forza 6, Sunset Overdrive, Titanfall, Kinect Rivals, Gears of War, State of Decay, Halo Master Chief Collection, and Rare Replay. That is 14 exclusives to 13 exclusives. So the gap is not as huge as you think it is.
Yeah, you know what? On both sides, I wouldn't count the remakes, but I guess that's a matter of opinion, so to speak.
It's not like, oh, Sony may have. It's like, oh, Sony has no first-party exclusives. That's just not a factually correct argument. Sony has exclusives. They have just as many as Microsoft does. It's a matter of preference at this point. It's what do you prefer? What kind of games do you prefer? Because on the Microsoft side, you have mainly action and driving games. And on the Sony side, you have a pretty much wide variety. You have puzzle, you have action, you have sports, and you have cinematic type games. So it's a matter of preference at this point. It's not a matter of quantity because they're neck and neck.
But here's the thing. But Yoshida was admitting it. That's why I'm like,
he was admitting that they don't have as many as he wants.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that they have none is just
no. You know what? Maybe I should have rephrased it. But from the Sony exec himself, he says he's just not content with where they are with that.
Yeah, I can see why he would say that because they only have about 13 AAA first party exclusives, whereas Microsoft right now has 14. So yes, I can understand.
And did you count like Halo 5 and what's coming out?
No, I'm just what's out right
now. Okay.
As of this podcast, as of October 8th, 2015, what's out right now.
Okay.
And
you know what? I think in that video that Review Tech was, referring to, I think that they also gauged what was forecasted for the holidays.
Well, I didn't do that. I just took what was.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
And it's like, okay, what the allure is we did touch on this last week. It's like, okay, people see Sony and Sony's out there. Just as you said, Microsoft is still trying to right the ship. They're still trying to control get rid of that foul taste everybody had from 2 years ago at E3. Because let's be real, Don Matrix essentially almost assassinated the Xbox brand. He almost put it in a grave.
They need to beat.
And whereas Sony came out of the gates flying because they're not ahead based off of anything that they've done right. They are ahead based on everything that Microsoft did wrong.
Yeah.
Because if Microsoft controlled the message and didn't have so many miscues right from the gate, it would be virtually a neck and neck battle. I still think Sony would be slightly ahead, but
not as much.
Yeah, right. And let's be real here. Microsoft is pouring a lot of advertising dollars into this holiday, so it's not like they don't have the resources. Because I've seen plenty of Microsoft commercials and I've seen plenty of Sony commercials. It's just that when something is ahead, it's what you see more of. It's like, especially in advertisements, especially when something's multi-platform. When you see a Destiny commercial, when you see a Destiny ad in a magazine, you usually see the PlayStation 4 box first, then you see the Xbox One box. When you see a commercial, you usually see the game being shown in PlayStation 4 footage, even though it's advertised for all systems, and you see the PlayStation 4 box put out more prominently than everything else, even though it's available for other platforms. It's that kind of subliminal messaging. Is it
a lack of effort on Microsoft's part?
It's not lack of effort. It's just Sony came out of the gates with a clean start. They didn't have anything to hinder them. So
you know what? You made an analogy for those of who were watching my ride impression and review. If you saw the drag race portion of it, where I was sitting there with the bike, and it's like Need for Speed Underground when you're doing the drag. If you miss your shift or you mess up in the beginning, that's it. And that's kind of like a foretelling where if Microsoft doesn't narrow something, this holiday season, they're done. That's it.
I don't say they're done. It's just
no,
that
they're just not gonna catch up. That's it.
I don't think they're gonna catch Sony no matter what they do.
Mhm.
Like they'll still be in second place because of Microsoft doesn't have any kind of presence in Japan because no American console or non-Japanese made console will ever have a presence in Japan.
Thank you very much for validating what I was saying on a prior podcast, where nothing Microsoft will do will bring them any success in that region. It's Japan. You know, they're inter.
But also to interject real quickly, someone in the chat, So Blessed, just mentioned something that it's actually kind of true also. It's the pure fact that Japan is really holding Microsoft back in order for them to actually flourish in the way that how they want to, in the sense of like actual sales, because Microsoft was able to go to every other like country and be
Australia,
successful.
Europe.
I can tell you. Thank you for watching, whoever you are, but I have to disagree with you that Japan is holding Microsoft back because the reason why no non-Japanese console will ever succeed in Japan is because Japan's economy is based off of the technology that they produce, and if a non-Japanese product is allowed to gain a foothold, that hurts their economy.
But
Apple,
then again,
that's
if
they were, no, that's
shit, then.
that's,
and not
that's
only
not
that,
biased.
no,
Like,
but let's say, okay, Microsoft had a better presence in Japan, and Japanese developers, Capcom, were supporting that console.
up.
If they're purchasing that piece of software on that other platform, they're still making something. You know what I mean?
Alex,
So it's like I get what you're saying, but I don't fully agree. I would say,
Alex, having been to Japan for my 2 weeks in the summer for the reserves, I've seen the culture over there, and it's not a bias so much as it is survival. It's like say if American products and European products were the top gross selling things over there in terms of technology, that would leave the Japanese economy in a very deep hole because that is their main export. That is what they produce. Like, chips come from Japan, computer components come from Japan and China. Like, things of that nature,
and yet
come
people
from that part of the world.
And the funny thing with that, gaming consumers over here not understanding what you just explained, how they're Sony and boosting their economy, where you have something over here, the Dow and all, you get what I'm trying to say. It's
I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't matter how great Microsoft's presence is in Japan. Like, Microsoft could have a Microsoft store on every corner in Akihabara, and that is like the technology, video game, anime sector where
Electric City.
Yeah, Electric City. They could have a Microsoft
Looks
store
beautiful
on every
on
corner.
Google.
I've been there. It's great. They
Yep,
could have
check my
They could have a Microsoft store on every corner, and nothing would sell there because it would hurt their economy if that became the preferred method of technology, non-Japanese products.
But here's the thing with that too. It comes to a point where the studios in Japan, ordinarily, or just developers in general, let me not single out Japan, but developers in general will develop for a platform that has numbers. Bottom line.
No, but here's the thing. Microsoft has the support of the Japanese developers. The other thing is that gaming in Japan is drastically different from where it is in the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah, and Playboy had mentioned that on a past podcast. It's like their culture is different. They're different. They're not like us.
Yeah, but also to mention that So Bless also mentioned into the chat, no matter how you cut it, missing out on Japan's market is a part of the actual gap that Microsoft actually needs.
Oh yeah,
and then on top of that, he said the PSP was competing with the 360s at that time. Of all things, the PlayStation Portable was competing in numbers against a fucking console.
Like,
that's
because
insane, dude.
Because
that's how you
how
know.
does that happen?
That's how you
the
know.
way
No, it's the influence, as what Dave was mentioning. It's Japan has their weird market of what they want. Like, they're into mobile, they're into RPGs, they're into
games like that. Catherine, that was a weird ass game.
They're into puzzle games.
As hell, though.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the way how I'm gonna put it, it's a quick fix and an on-the-go thing while they're casually going to school or going to work or going to a whorehouse. Let's just be real. So they're getting their little fix.
That just went over.
No, because it's like that in Japan.
But
and
also
they get
look
their
at
quick fix. And
but you know, I do want to give others a chance to speak on it.
One last thing. But you also have to look at the way, like, who is playing video games in Japan. Like, the people who are gamers in Japan are our age, but the way people work in Japan are totally different from us. Like, the way we work in the United States and most parts of the world, it's a 6 to 8 hour work day. We come home, we play video games to relax. We have time to sit down to a console game and devote at least like 2 to 3 hours on average to a console game. Yes. In Japan, it's not like that. The average work day for the average salaryman is 10 hours.
Damn, that's slave labor. What?
Wait, and there's more. And then after work, it is expected of them that they go out and socialize with their coworkers, or else they're not being looked at as a good coworker. So that's another 2 to 3 hours off of the top of your day. So right off the top, you're out of your house for 13 hours a day. Then you got to sleep for 5 to 7 hours a day. So there is literally no time to play console games for our generation in Japan.
But why are they picking up the PS4 in droves like that, though?
Because like, Sony's struggling. Like, it may be leading in Japan, but they're not doing the big numbers that they are in Japan like they're doing in the rest of the world. Like, all consoles are struggling, just Sony is struggling the least.
Okay, fair enough. Like,
portable consoles are the preferred medium in Japan because...
What about my Vita? What's going on?
Like, Vita
Get me, bro.
Vita is, like, successful in Japan. It's not a legacy console in Japan because, like we said last week, like children here are the ones usually sitting around for long periods of time in other places that are where they're away from their consoles. That's adults in Japan. So that's where those AAA games on the Vita have to come into play. That's where they're most popular at in Japan. That's why you see the cross-platform between the Vita and the PlayStation 4 games.
That's why they did it. Get it. All right. So, Noop, what are your thoughts on Sony's magic and
Playboy is supposed to go next.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Mr.
I have nothing.
Dang, he wanted to go too.
He was
did.
He was like,
nah, yo, people got passionate about the topic. I'll go really quick. Like I said, you know, you have to look at who the consumers are, and we're in a trendy society. Whatever trends, whatever is popular, that's what people are gonna do. Look at Michael Jordan sneakers. You know what I'm saying? They might not be the best made, they might not even be the best looking, but you have an iconic name, Michael Jordan, and you attach it to a product, and people clamor for it.
And you know what, the funny thing?
Let me finish. Shut up.
Okay, go ahead.
He can re-release the same sneakers. He can go 1 through 20 and start over for the next 20 years, and people are probably still gonna buy it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like y'all said, Microsoft got off to a slow start. And the thing is, Sony is not a bad company. They don't make bad products. Like, I was a Sony head. I had a PS1, I had a PS2. The PS3 just didn't have games that appealed to me. And also, to touch on when we say exclusive titles, DeMizzle, when you were, like, naming a list, we're talking about the ones that were the reasons why we bought the consoles. Like, where is the next God of War? Where is the next Final Fantasy? Or where's the next Onimusha? Like, that's what we mean. Like, remakes, okay, you know what I mean? But it's
yeah,
like,
but
where is that game that says, you know what, you need to play here?
And it's
still preference though, and it's still preference, like you said, it's still preference because Sony has games that appeal to people. Obviously, people are buying it, playing it, keeping it, not trading it in, so they're doing the right thing over there. And Microsoft is doing the same thing. It's just they got such a head start, and it's so popular. Like, you know, in my profession and dealing with the people that I deal with, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, the last couple years was, oh, Xbox, 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 Xbox. Now this year, all I hear is PlayStation, PlayStation, and I laugh so hard. I'm like, wow, this thing is really powerful. And it's like the momentum is what they need to keep and is what they need to do to stay relevant, because there's no true, I don't think there's any true brand loyalty. Like, we look at the thousands of people on Facebook, you know, we're talking about thousands, but that doesn't speak for the millions. Like, I think we're gonna see a huge, maybe not a huge, but we'll see a big shift once the holidays come and all these other titles that Xbox has lined up come out. We're gonna start hearing a lot of trash talk and stuff like that. And, you know, next year is another year to continue the quote-unquote console war. But they just need to put out more appealing products. Like, again, I don't have a PS4 yet, but I do have a PS4 game. I have Killzone on PS4 sitting in front of me. It was $10. And I like that franchise. That was one of the reasons I loved my PS2. I loved Killzone. So I bought the game. But when I look at Sony's games, I feel where Alex is coming from. I'm like, what is so special? It just doesn't appeal to me personally. It may appeal to you guys, but when I look at, you know, what I can get on Xbox versus what I can get on PlayStation, Xbox by far is just better to me personally. And I don't get it either, because it's like, okay, you guys, what are you guys playing other than third party on Sony that makes you say I should have this Sony console? And I think a lot of people just got caught in the not looking at it, kind of like little Billy, you know. Hey, dang, you know. And a lot of my Xbox friends said, yo, man, you know, majority of my friends list friends said they're getting the PS4, so I got to get one. I want to play with my friends. And that's what it really is. It's not even about the software anymore. It's like it's like name. This is where everyone's going, so I'm going too.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? Shout out to Tough Nerd Toys. I see him. He used to be on Xbox a lot, and now he switched, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's quite all right. Spend your money where you feel like your money will be spent best, so that you can enjoy your experience. And if you really went in like Nelson and these other guys on here who have both consoles, then even more bigger kudos to you. I hope to join y'all soon. And have both consoles, and I want Sony to push those. You know, I want to see the next, you know, God of War. I want to see
the games that drew you in initially. So
right, I don't see that right now, which is why I'm not drawn in. Like, I even went back, like I said, and bought a PS3 because the PS3 had titles that I wanted, and I'm going through the Uncharted series right now. You know, and games like what's her face, the girl, Horizon. Like, I got excited. Like, I was like, that will make me buy a PS4.
And I plan on picking up Horizon also. But you know, earlier in your tirade, but you mentioned Jordans, and you have people who probably weren't even alive to see that man play, like a lot of us.
Yeah, probably never seen him play ever.
And I'm pointing out NYC Playboy. You got, I'm sure.
What are you talking about, Alex? You were an old man before he was even born.
Yo.
Yo.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
No.
Can I live?
No.
Here's the thing.
But check it before I get overwhelmed. The thing with Jordans, people aren't buying them because of what Michael Jordan was to NBA. You know, it's just, oh, they're Jordans. Why are you buying them? Oh, because
exactly.
Do you? I mean, is it even a basketball shoe still? Is it just a designer thing? Like, I had 2 pairs of Jordans, and that was it. Never will go back, because in my mind I said to myself, they're just caught in the sheep mentality, and Jordan knows how, or his people know how to market that product, and it makes people think that they have to have it. They can't live without it. And I think that's how Sony has captured. It's like, hey, we are your console. You have to buy our console because we're touting 1080p, which it does, but you have to sacrifice to do that on a consistent basis. As you know, giving shout out to Review Tech Rich has stated, you can go to his video showing how, hey, you know, that's why Uncharted kept getting delayed. Oh, we want it at 1080p. Okay, well, we're gonna have to do it at 30 frames. Sony's like, no, you do it 1080p, 60 frames. Hey, Naughty Dog's like, all right, hey, we're gonna have to find some way to make it work.
You know what's real funny though, to talk about the Jordan sneakers? They're not meant to be worn anymore, which is the sad thing. It's meant to, like, this is my opinion, especially coming from the ghetto. You're buying $260 pair of Jordans, waiting online. Mind you, this is not a game. This is not something you can overuse unless if you have that mindset too. The person will buy it just so they can get the sneaker, keep it in the box forever and never wear it. Probably throw up a couple of Instagram pictures and Twitter pictures. Haha, motherfuckers, I got the new Jordan 17 or Air 1s or whatever the fuck they call them shits now.
They're not practical anymore.
And they're never gonna be worn. Like, if I buy a sneaker, I'm wearing that son bitch. I'm not gonna just have a fucking box just taking up storage space so I can fucking look at it like, oh, you're so pretty, I spent so much money on you, oh yes, yes, and close it.
And how much are they now?
That voice, Nelson,
Like
oh my god.
$200 and $300, man.
Unbelievable.
Here's
When me and
another-
Demizzle, wait a minute, when me and Demizzle were in high school, remember how people were breaking their necks trying to get them damn things?
Yes, absolutely. They were shooting
and you know what's
killing each
real?
other over that shit.
And you know what's real fucked up? I don't know if you guys remember the basketball player Stephon Marbury. And this is the funny thing. My mom,
Oh, yeah.
my mom told me about the sneaker. I had to go all the way to Queens to get it though, but that's another story for another time. And they only cost $10 for no matter what size it was $10. Period. Compared to having a fucking big icon. Yes, that is a thing. But you're making it so that we do not wear your product no more. It's just, oh, yo, I got a new couch, and it's just like there just to sit on, nothing else to do. Or if I buy a painting, it's just sitting on the wall. That's what the sneaker is now. It's just gonna sit on your shelf or your fucking closet.
Yeah, a lot of
or
people
on your
trophy.
floor.
They treat them like trophies.
So,
like, there's
you know what
people
it
who have
is?
Sneaker collections.
Nelson.
It's effective marketing. Sony has achieved this. Jordan has achieved this, and many other products have achieved this. And it's just, man, they get into the minds of the folks like, hey, I have to get this. But Demizzle wanted to say something.
And here's the thing, like to piggyback on your Stephon Marbury thing, he popped off at Jordan, and people who buy Jordans today on Facebook and Twitter is like, y'all don't know this, but my sneaker and Jordans are made in the same Chinese factory costing $5 to make. The only difference is mine costs $10 to $15 to buy. His costs $250 to $300. And like, he got people in the hood.
I think he was hating.
He's not hating.
He's not hating. He was trying to help out.
Wait, go
ahead. I'm saying,
Like, you got sneakers made from the same material by the same Chinese hands and the same factory.
The same what? They're made by the same what? Is that the same Chinese hands?
Dude, it's the truth, man.
No,
He said it's made by the same Chinese hands.
shut the hell up. Oh my gosh.
Yo,
I swear.
You know what the difference is? This is the difference, though. This is the
Same
difference.
people, same material, same factory.
No. But don't try not to mention any stereotype things because that can lead into a very fucked up situation.
Yo,
He dead ass came on air.
We got mute Noob, man. This guy, once he gets started, oh my goodness.
Sorry, New Gaming
I'm done.
Order. We're not trying to make fun of anybody or mention of any stereotypical
We're
things.
not,
It's
we're
just-
I'm not making fun of anybody, but it's just a stone cold fact. They're made by the same people in the same place with the same materials.
Yeah.
Only difference is that Jordan has his people conning people out of $250 while Stephon Marbury is trying to hit people to game and save people some money, but people are too worried about image. People
well,
Right,
and number, this is
absolutely.
the other thing you have to look at. People are gonna buy what they're interested in. You can't. Stephon Marbury's name can't hold a candle to the Jordan name. I mean, it's branding. You know what I'm saying? It's branding. It doesn't mean that
that's
it's
the
a better
same thing
product.
that's happening
It
with
doesn't
the
mean that it's a
consoles.
better product. But hey, my name's Michael Jordan. I did all these great things. You know, you can own a piece of the legacy. I mean, that's how people look at it, and it has resale value. Unfortunately, it's something that people.
And his
He
mic.
just got a rough
But you know
cut.
what? Chris has been caught under the waves. Chris, chime in. What are your thoughts in like with Sony's magic? Like, what is it? What are
And
your
my
thoughts?
controller cut up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was giving Anya Knees a chance to speak because, you know,
Go ahead, Anya.
I want to start wrapping up.
Yeah, so a couple things.
Who's watching?
Of course, I'm competing with whoever's broadcasting now.
What the
Alex.
hell?
Yo, who's broadcasting?
It's not me.
I think that's new.
Nope. Is that broadcasting TV? Okay.
No, sorry, I was looking at exploding Coke and Angry Grandpa's face. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. What the heck? All right, Chris, go ahead.
Alright, to go to the points earlier, the Japanese market's very xenophobic, but they will buy stuff they like. As an example, the only American car to ever sell well in Japan is the Ford Astrovan, believe it or not. They like boxy cars. I mean, you can look at the Nissan Cube, Honda Element, Zion XB. All their trucks are big squares.
Mm-hmm.
They genetically engineered square watermelons, for fuck's sake. So, you know,
how did they? What?
this is old news, man. This is like 10 years ago. So that it's easier to store. They actually grow in fucking not cubes, but they're like wide rectangles.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's.
yeah, they will buy stuff they like, but they're very particular about what's in their market. So that's why a lot of these game companies don't get the local third-party support they need, and that's where they fail. But also, the Japanese gaming market is still taking a massive shit. Arcade is still alive and well there because it's a place to be social with others.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile market's where it's at over there. So that's why the mobile market's doing so well, and handhelds are so big.
Mm-hmm.
That's why handhelds are still surviving as good as they are.
Okay.
It is all about the image, just like I think it was Dave that said it. They make that shit the same factory. Same with, you know, the Gucci handbags or Armani suit. Well, not Armani suits. They're actually made by Italian laborers. But
Yeah.
most of that buying a label. You're buying a commercial space. Is what you're doing. You're paying for that. Jordan labels cost you $200 per pair of sneakers when you can get other guys' shoes for $30. So you know. I was on the hype train. I had a couple pairs of Jordans, and you know, I destroyed them just as quickly as any other sneakers. It wasn't worth it to me.
Chris, you wore Jordans? That's what's up. That's cool.
But I was like in 6th grade, you know, some fat little didn't know anything better white kid.
I mean, damn, really? Yeah, you in 6th grade. What? Okay.
Nah, he's taking a dig at me and you, NYC Playboy.
That's all right. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, shut up.
No, Chris jumped you then.
Jumpy. All right. So this. Yeah, what's that again?
I don't got much else to say.
All right. With that, I know this went a little longer than I wanted it to, but you know, leave your thoughts below. Make a video response, as Nelson has been really trying to drive home with the audience. But this podcast was an interesting experiment. 3 topics, but each topic had a lot of time so that we can, you know, explore it a little more deep. So all these other subtopics that you saw on the Facebook might be done in solo videos or separate mini podcasts throughout the week. So hopefully I can get to them soon enough. But with that, I'm going to give Nelson the floor to kind of do our conclusion, and we'll go from there.
All right, guys. As what Alex has mentioned, thank every single one of you for watching this week's podcast. Hopefully we done our mission as of bringing you something new to the table, and we're gonna try new formats every now and then. It may not be next week or the following week, but we're definitely are trying to see what caters to you guys, the audience, and we might do something new next week. I won't really reveal what it will be, but it will definitely be interesting. Hopefully the panel would like to, you know, maybe discuss a couple things off stream. Doesn't have to be tonight, but we'll come up with something together after Comic-Con and see if something new in the works can be done. But again, thank all of you guys for coming out on Twitch, for you the live viewers, for all the YouTube folks at your home or your laptop or your iPad or your cell phone or you're just broken yet at a friend's house watching. Thank you guys for also watching the pre-recording version of this, and please like, rate, and subscribe to the channel. We could definitely use the push and increase in subscribers to gain more of a potential partnership to give back to you guys, whether if it's giveaways, tournaments, probably t-shirts that we might be doing pretty soon with the new logo.
Yes, my sister is making the shirts. I need everybody's sizes, damn it.
Well, we'll talk about that. Yo!
What the heck? I was just playing.
Anywho, we'll definitely have more things in the works in the future. It's just like I said, we're still building up our name and our credibility to you guys. We was known as so many entities in the past: Fighting Game League, Newgamingorder, New Fighting Order. Like, it's so much. So
we're transforming, Nelson. Super Saiyan levels. Level to the shit.
Okay, so that means that we're Super Saiyan 5 now?
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna get off the podcast. We will be on next week, which will be what, the 15th of October. So hopefully you guys can join us again for the following week. Is anyone talking?
Now I'm looking at the chat now.
Okay, now since you just did that, you can go fuck yourself out the room.
What the hell did he say?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys later. I'm about to jump off.
All right, Dave.
All right.
Not off a cliff, man. We need you, man.
Oh!
All right, but to conclude, we out like juggernaut bitches. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks to the panel. Thanks for our people in the chat. Newgamingorder.com coming at you. Peace.